Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean and this is In The Mixer, our Football's Coming Home challenge with AFC Bournemouth as we try and bring them into Champions League football and then eventually win it using only English talent. Weird episode here today because we don't have to do any sort of schedule or recap on the games we've played because you were here in the last episode, beat West Brom 4-0, really commanding performance, and then got absolutely fucking torn apart by Jamie Vardy. I refuse to say what club he plays for because it was just Jamie Vardy that hurt us. 16th, 32nd, 79th minute, hat-trick for him. Great result. I stepped away from the game a little bit, thought, what do we need to do? How are we going to change stuff up? And then I kind of looked at our results throughout January and December when we were trying to do maybe a little bit too much. And I thought, let's make a couple of tactical tweaks. Nothing too dramatic. I've just removed the instructions where we had retained possession because if you do that, I'll actually show you guys here. If you do retain possession, it puts your passing directness way down, and I didn't want to make it direct because I didn't want to be playing that sort of style. So I've taken it off with the hope that it will remain mixed passing, but, you know, a little bit higher up. And hopefully we can get back to some of the results we had in that sort of second, eighth, if that makes sense, of the season where we were just tearing teams apart and winning 4 or 5-0 every week. So this is a really important game. I don't want to put too much pressure on anybody. Let's focus on our defensive structures and then in possession, do whatever you want to get us the goals that we need. So, going to go with Butland in goal. As always, Tyrone Mings will play at left back, though his form has dropped off a little bit. Charlie Daniels just doesn't seem to be doing anything to push him when he gets given opportunities. I brought Ben Gibson back into the fold at one of the centre-back roles, playing as ball-playing defender. Maguire alongside him, and I've actually moved Steve Cook to right back. Simon Francis has been fine. Adam Smith has been fine. I just don't know. It just always seems like it's the left wing that we seem to be having difficulty in. I forget the Leicester game last time out, where it was all like balls from deep areas over the back that Vardy kept finding that was hurting us. It just feel like, even the games off screen and stuff, it's the right back spot where we're continuing to get beaten. So I've changed up individual training, and we're going to look to have Simon Francis now become that third central defender, and we're going to work on Steve Cook playing as that right fullback with the support duty. Hopefully it's enough for us to get past Tottenham today. The rest of the team, Cook and Sermon will continue in the middle. I think they've been great. Sessegnon was fantastic when he came off the bench last time out, was our best performer, even though he only played half an hour. So he can play on the left wing attack. Ibe on the other side, which sees Grealish go to the bench. Barnes and Wilson up top. I just want to win. I just desperately want to win this game. I think a lot of the tight contests and big matches that we've had, we've lost. And then when there's low pressure or nothing going on, or it's a team that's struggling, we're really good in. So Danny Rose, Kieran Trippier are the fullbacks for them. I would absolutely love to bring in either of them. In fact, I'm going to add Danny Rose to the shortlist now. Lloris in goals, Vertonghen and Alderweireld as the centre-backs. Eriksen's going to play as a deep line playmaker. Dyer as the ball-winning midfielder next to him. Hunmin up front. Hunmin on the left wing. Dele Alli at the 10. Lucas Moura on the right. It looks like Harry Kane has picked up an injury, so it'll be Llorente playing in this particular match. On the bench, some of their English talent includes Walker-Peters, Harry Winks, Ben Davies. Oh no, Ben Davies is Welsh. What the fuck am I talking about? So we'll add Walker-Peters to our shortlist as well. I always say Walker-Peters. It's Walker-Peters and Harry Winks as well. Just a great English core, really bringing through a lot of great players in the last few years have Tottenham, but we're still going to beat the living shit out of them. Passionate, let's say, get out there and show the world you have what it takes, and most people responded really well to that. So I wonder, without having to do a recap, if this episode is going to be way shorter than those ones that we usually put out. Mings with the ball now. Is this just going to be a kick-off highlight, or are we going to make something of it? They are pressing incredibly aggressively. The last team we played like this was Liverpool, and we beat them shit out of them, and then Klopp got the sack. So Wilson got him behind there early, and I just spoke over the top of it, and it was a decent save actually from Hugo Lloris, who's a very good goalkeeper. Lucas Moura now. There is a danger on the counter. Trippier, and thankfully that brings that one to the close. Trippier is still on the transfer list. I do still want to try and bring him in. I don't necessarily want to replace Bournemouth teams with Tottenham's team, but it's super tempting to go after the likes of Dyer and Trippier and Danny Rose and all those other players. We've got now the first 10 minutes without conceding. We have had 2 shots and 1 on target. Still only had 39% possession, but I guess that's to be expected. They do favour a short passing game with this Tottenham squad and in this game. Eriksen now with the ball. Mings cuts it out well. Wilson can turn. He's got runners. Finds Ibe on the right. Barnes is in now. Can he find the finish? And he does. Ashley Barnes See, it's just that tiny little bit when you take retained possession off, that I think if Wilson sees recovered the ball here, if we're set to retain possession, I think he looks for a simple ball to a fullback rather than a ball in behind. And it's a great finish from Barnes. A lovely first touch to get the ball back in front of him. And Lloris comes out well, but Barnes just blasts it past him. And that is a fantastic goal for us and super important in this match. It means they've got to come at us a little bit more, and there'll be even more spaces in behind for the players on the counter, like Wilson, like Barnes, like Jordan Ibe on the right, like Sessegnon playing at left wing. Gibson now with a long ball forward. Wilson's going to chase. Cook wins the ball back. Wilson again looks for Barnes. Can he get him behind? He's shaking off a defender. Oh, and all he had to do was get that one on target, and he's blazed over. Would have been 2 to the good. Fantastic build-up play. I'm not going to shit on Ashley Barnes. He's been phenomenal. And we're struggling to cope with their numbers in midfield, but yet they're yet to have a highlight. So what do you want? Sermon now with a free kick from distance. Barnes is in there, flicks it on. Llorente heads it away. There is a danger on the counter-attack here. They've got numbers flooding forward. Finds Dyer. Dyer finds Trippier on the overlapping run. It's a good tackle. Maguire goes back to Butland, and Butland clears away. I thought for a second that one was going to fall short. Dyer now with the ball. Finds Eriksson. Cook with a fantastic tackle. And can we counter? Wilson's gotten in behind. Can he find the finish? It's a dead angle. And Callum Wilson, absolutely phenomenal. Oh, God. After the pain of having to sit there and watch Jamie Vardy tear us apart, going 2-0 up to Tottenham inside half an hour is phenomenal. I thought it was a great tackle from Cook. It's not. He just got hit with the ball. But that's a fantastic ball in behind. And Wilson turns on the afterburners. You'd probably hope the keeper would come out a little bit better. And it's almost a dead angle shot. But I'll take it. I'll take all of them. I'll celebrate them. I'll do the fist pumps. We move back up into 6th spot. I would see Tottenham drop off a little bit in that particular race. Good corner in there, but Butland holds well. I think I forget sometimes I'm getting filmed and I just rub my eye and pick my nose and whatever else, and then I've got to go back and edit it out. I'll leave that one in. Fuck it. Why not? Crystal Palace, 4 points ahead of us still. Are they actually playing today or no? It doesn't appear so. So they've got a game in hand, but I still want to get that 5th spot. I feel like we're a better team than they are, or I feel like we play better football than they do. Getting towards halftime now, 43rd minute. They've evened up the shot count and the shots on target, though we haven't seen much in highlights, and they are shading possession, but I don't really give a shit about possession. I just want the win. I want the 3 points. That's what we need. Harry Maguire had torrid time out against his former club Leicester, but he seems to be performing a little bit better today. Tyrone Mings having a great game on that left-hand side. Assertively, you might be winning, but that could change if your performance levels drop. And 2 players look stressed. It's Tyrone Mings and Ryan Sessegnon. So our left-hand side is very upset with that. We'll give him 15 more minutes, get to the hour, and see how everybody's doing before we make any of our subs. That was a great tackle there from Ashley Barnes. He does so much work as that defensive forward. Over on the Tottenham side of things, there's a few players struggling. Llorente's not having a great game. Sun Heung-min's not having a great game. Danny Rose has been poor. Kieran Trippier is absolutely fucking getting ravaged over there by Ryan Sessegnon, it looks like. Only 5.9 for him. And it doesn't look like... Oh, they got Walker Peters on the bench. See, I got it right that time, so I'm learning. But they don't have... God, what's his name? The Ivorian? Serge Aurier on the bench. Who I think who's been playing for them most of this season, and that's why Trippier is now on the transfer list. It's a ball in from Ibe from the corner. It's headed away by Dyer. Sessegnon has Ibe on again. Can he get across in? Finds Barnes. Barnes with the header, and it is only just wide. Let's go and have a look at some subs now. Okay, so Lewis Cook's having a good game, but he is on a yellow card, so we will keep another sub up our sleeves. Everybody's fitness looks relatively good, which is nice to see. So it's Sermon that seems to be struggling, but we don't really have another midfield option on the bench because Dan Gosling is currently injured, and Scott McTominay I'm not naming in squads because he's only on loan and it's pointless. So what I might do, and it is a little bit risky, is bring Sermon off for Jack Grealish. Not his favourite position, and he's not super great defensively, but at least it's some sort of rotation that we've made. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to do that because I'm more worried about Lewis Cook's yellow card than I am anything else. Let's cancel the sub for now. Let's give it 10 more minutes, get towards the 80th minute, and then we'll just make subs based on fitness rather than actual score. We're 2-0 up. We just need to not panic or change anything too drastically because it doesn't look like they are challenging us much at all. And just like that, we kind of just move straight forward into the 80th minute. Sessegnon's picked up a yellow card, which is a little bit of a concern. So here's how we're going to do it, right? We're going to take off the 2 yellow carded players. We're going to bring Stanislas on the left wing for Sessegnon. We're going to move Sermon to the box role. And we're going to bring Cook off for Jack Grealish. Neither player has done anything wrong. They've both been fantastic, I think. it's just about the yellow cards that they've picked up. I just want to get through the last 10 minutes without any scratches, without any extra suspensions or anything like that, though I think Lewis Cook is due for one relatively soon. Here we go. Cook with a throw in now. Grealish with the ball across. Trippier heads away at the far post. Lamella's come off the bench now, and there's a counter-attack on. That was more a ball you'd play towards Harry Kane, not Fernando Llorente. Cook cuts the crossfield ball out. Maguire plays one forward. We are in a 2v2 if we can make the right decisions here. Ball across to Barnes. There's one more man outside. It's Jordan Ibe. Hangs the ball back post, and Wilson hits the bar, and that is a phenomenal save from Hugo Lloris. I don't know how he's done that. 6 yards out, probably within the 6 yard box, and he gets back on his line and pushes it away. That is absolutely fantastic. It's not like Jordan Ibe didn't get a hold of it. He kicked the living shit out of it. Ibe having a great game. Cook having a great game on our right-hand side. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we just keep working as Cook as the right back, and he's going to give us both the defensive poise of a ball-playing defender, which is his normal position, and also, going forward, just doing the right things with the ball. Referee calls full time. That is a 2-0 win. Golf clap for everybody. I'd clap louder, but I'll get it confused with the clap syncs I do at the start of each video, and it'll just be mad cuts everywhere across the editing. Dressing room, let's passionately tell everybody that that was a phenomenal performance. Really special. Nobody gave us a chance. Played magnificently. And interestingly, Tottenham have just sacked Mauricio Pochettino. I don't think they've been performing that badly. They're still in with a shout, or at least mathematically, of getting European football, because they're only a spot or two behind us. Great deal of sympathy from him. I certainly didn't want him to get sacked, but maybe he'll come in as my assistant. Oh, I'd love to bring Eddie Howe back as an assistant. Let's see if he'll come. Just going a little bit off script here. Just bear with me for a moment. Contract, approach to sign. Doesn't want to come back. He would have only been an assistant manager in this role. In reality, I think some of his skills he's probably a decent shout for the Tottenham job, to be honest. Now let's jump ahead 7 days. We have our FA Cup tie against Leeds United. We've been super fortunate in the way the draws have come up for us. A 2-0 win against Tranmere in the third round. 2-0 win against Northampton. Odds makers would say a 2-0 win against Leeds United would be great, but they are a decent championship side. They're not travelling too badly either. But let's jump ahead to that one now. Okay, just like that, we've jumped forward a week. Nothing particularly interesting has happened, though there are a couple of decent names being linked with that Tottenham job since Pochettino got sacked. Ancelotti, Joachim Low, Jurgen Klinsmann for whatever reason. Looking at Leeds here, relatively inconsistent form for them. Though they are still favourites somehow, we are playing at Ellen Road. That may have something to do with it. Now, this isn't Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds. This is Paul Heckingbottom's Leeds, which I'm sure is an entirely different prospect. Let's just go and have a quick look at what we're going to do with our team here. And to be honest, after such a good performance last time out, I don't see the need to change anything too drastically. Dan Gosling is back in fitness, so I'm going to put him on the bench just so that we have that other central midfield option. But that is more than good enough for me. Butland in the middle, Mings, Gibson, Maguire and Cook as the defensive line, Sessegnon, Lewis Cook, Andrew Sermon, Jordan Ibe as the midfield, and Barnes and Wilson, after both scoring in the last game against Tottenham, will continue up front and try and boost their personal goal tallies for the rest of the year. So this will be a tough test. I know it is championship opposition, but Leeds United are a good side. They've got massive support. They'll be very, very good at home. And I think every Australian that grew up in sort of the 90s remembers the likes of Harry Kewell and Mark Viduka, who were absolute heroes for those excellent Leeds teams at the turn of the century. Looks like they've got Lonergan in goal, De Bock, Cooper, Pontus Janssen and Luke Ayling as their back line. Saiz, Vieira, Phillips and Hernandez. Now, I think Calvin Phillips is the next Bournemouth player, maybe. No, he's not. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I'm thinking of Union O'Kane. My bad. Sabicki and Alioski up top. I've probably butchered both pronunciations. Please don't yell at me in the comment section. And let's just assertively tell everybody, go out there and carry straight on from where you finished the last match. I can't think of the last episode we actually put together. It probably was earlier in the season where we won both games convincingly, so fingers crossed we can get a decent result here. And I know certain people rotate teams for cup competitions, but it's the FA Cup. I want to do well in it. We rotated a bit for the League Cup, and I'm sure if we do make a European spot next year, we will rotate for the FA Cup as well. But for the time being, while we're only in 2 competitions, we might as well put a decent side out there. Ball comes out to Sermon now, back across to Cook. He's got men inside. There's 2v1 on the left-hand side. Instead, he goes to the right, which is frustrating. Wilson now. Never mind. I never should have questioned Lewis Cook because that is a fantastic ball into Callum Wilson and his 10th goal of the season. Now, don't forget, I know that sounds weak, but he spent so much time out with injury that it's a very good return. I back across here, finds Cook. It's a first time ball in. It's just poor marking from the Leeds players and big Pontus Janssen, the giant Swede. And Wilson, one touch finish, finds the back of the net. So that will just settle my nerves in particular and hopefully give the rowdy away support, the Cherry Boys. I don't think that's their actual name, but that's what I'm going to call them. Something to crow about in the corner at Ellen Road. Alioski comes forward now. He's played Chibiki in behind and they've scored. Shit. I thought maybe he was going to knock a ball back across to Alioski and it was going to be a simple tap in, but fair play to him. He's getting his shot away. And from the dead angle, he found a way past Butland. Let's have a look at here. Alioski's run is decent. Ball in behind is good. It's just one touch and then two touches. Got very close. I feel like Butland maybe could have done better. It hit him on the way in. But I will never criticise Jack Butland. He has been phenomenal for us so far this season. And I do kind of back us to go and find more goals in this game. If there's already been 2 in the first 15 minutes, you'd assume that we're probably going to see some others as well. Butland with long ball forward now. Barnes is going to go up. Or Cooper lets the ball drop, and we don't put enough pressure on there. Vieira and Phillips in midfield, matching our 2. So it'll be one of the rare instances where my assistant manager doesn't bitch about, oh, here we go, Wilson. Wilson's got the double. Lonigan has had an absolute fucking mare on that one. I swear we had something similar to that happen earlier on in the season. I can't remember what game it was in and what keeper it happened in, where Jermaine Defoe maybe tackled the goalkeeper and scored. Lonigan here, he just forgets the ball, and Wilson, left-footed finish. He smashed it top corner just to make it a bit more dramatic. And we are 2-1 up again. 25 minutes gone, and we're in possession here again. Cook to take the throw-in. Sermon plays it back to him. It's a ball over the top towards Barnes. Didn't really need to be. Back to London again. Tackle him. No. He long clearance. Finds Cook. He plays Lewis Cook inside. It's a lovely weighted ball into that 10-yard box. Sessegnon's in now. Finds Barnes, and Barnes just screws the header wide. But phenomenal play. That knock from Lewis Cook is absolutely fantastic. Ibe, Cook and Sessegnon, like that's a midfield. That's 3 of our 4 midfielders that you could realistically see playing for the next 10 years for the side, given that their ages and the way that they're currently performing within the Premier League, which is great to see. I'd love to see at least one of them called up into an England squad soon. Luke Ayling now plays a ball to Kubicki, the goal scorer. Alioski with a strike, and thankfully that one is just high and wide of the right-hand side. Disaster has struck, and Callum Wilson has picked up an injury. He's already on an 8.6 and 2 goals. Hopefully, it's not anything too bad. Doesn't give us much info or detail here. Potential arm injury. Okay, I can actually handle that. If it's just something like a sprained wrist, and it's just his arm, fantastic. What I don't need him doing is like an ACL or an Achilles or something like that that's going to keep him out for a long time. Passionately tell Danny Ings, I think there's a lot more to come from him. He's only scored 1 goal for us so far. It was in his second game, I think. And just the form of Barnes and Wilson has kept him out of the team, but fingers crossed he can come in and do something after his January move from Liverpool. Only a couple minutes to be added on here in the first half, and it gets us to half time. See here, 6 shots to 5, so relatively even in that respect. We've had more on target, more fouls, no yellow cards for either side, and they've just shaded possession, so not a bad team. Leeds, let's calmly tell everybody, don't get complacent. Everybody's responded really well to that, including Danny Ings. And the second half kicks off now. Are we going to see a highlight here? No, we're not. It's going to go straight back to black. Harry Maguire picks up his 3rd yellow card of the season, which means he gets 2 more before he has to sit out a ban. We'll keep an eye on that as we go. We'll give it another 10 minutes here, get to the hour mark, and then look to make probably our other 2 substitutions just to get some match fitness in some other players. Alioski with the header. He was wide open there, but Butland is equal to it and holds. Still some concerning signs. I guess they have been looking forward to this one. It's a massive game for them, having a Premier League side come to Ellen Road. And I didn't load up the championship, so I'm not sure if they actually are doing that well in it, because it's an empty league. They've got the players and stuff, but Jordan Ives picked up an injury now. What is going on? Jack Grealish will come on, and we might use this opportunity to also rotate Steve Cook out and Simon Francis in. Only on a 6.3. He hasn't been horrible by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll just give him a bit of a rest. I was also flirting with the idea of playing Nick Pope in this game, just to get him his first appearance for the club. I haven't in the end, but that is something that we'll have to keep an eye on. Otherwise, he's going to be very unhappy very quickly, because that's why he left Burnley. Jack Grealish with the goal. It's Barnes with a lovely flick onto him. We'll watch it again in 3 dimensions, see if it was a cushioned header or an actual pass. First time ball in behind, and he just calmly puts that one in the far corner. And I'd say that is enough to get us past Leeds. Ings with a good ball across here, finds Barnes. It's a one-touch volley, and Grealish takes an excellent touch. Lonergan maybe could have done more. Hasn't been a great day for him. But that puts us 3-1 up. Can we get a couple more here, really make it a decent headline score and a really successful episode? Oh, it's a good header away. Thought for a second it was getting past. Barnes now to tidy up. Finds Lewis Cook, who plays Gibson. All the way back to Mings. We've got time here. We don't need to rush it. It's ball over the top to Sessegnon. Can he get a ball in? Finds Ings, and Danny Ings gets his goal off the bench. Very happy for him. 2 goals in 5 minutes for us and a phenomenal assist from Ryan Sessegnon. Just calm possession play here. It's a long ball forward from Mings, yes, but I do think he was deliberately trying to find Ryan Sessegnon. Phenomenal touch, and just squares it up. 6-yard box. Danny Ings on his left foot finds the bottom corner, and we are 4-1 up with 20 minutes remaining. Is there any more that we can add on here? We have got possession again and a highlight. Lonergan comes out. Anything could have happened there with the way Lonergan's playing at the minute. He plays it short to Cooper. They are trying to play it out from the back. Give them credit. Could have just hoofed it long. Cooper with the ball now. Goes back to Lonergan. It's gone to Jansen again. Cooper now goes long. Sabicki, not sure how you pronounce it, has just gotten in behind. It's a decent strike. Butland's equal to that one, and he pushes it wide. So they're not entirely dead yet. Saiz to take the corner. Whips it in. It's headed back out by Harry Maguire. In again. Sermon straight back. Saiz will pick it up for a third time. Across to the top of the box. Finds it Cooper. And Maguire eventually gets that one away. So, weird highlight. Didn't look like they had any shots in it. Just that they kept putting balls into the box, which I guess is dangerous to an extent. Sermon with a free kick now. Wasn't on target. I've seen him take so many free kicks throughout the course of this season from that area that have been straight down the middle and straight over the top. So maybe that's something we need to look at strengthening throughout the off-season. I know it's early to be looking at that, but I feel like Sermon is probably the one player that we don't have an adequate backup for in that deep line defender role, so maybe that's something we can look at. Have previously spoken about wanting to bring in Wilshere. He is on a ball now, Sermon. Flicks the ball in. I think it was Gibson got the last touch on it, and it's just wide. Couldn't make it 5. I would love to make it 5. Yeah, I have spoken about bringing in Jack Wilshere. We've got another bloody highlight. These just aren't stopping. It's Akubin who's come off the bench to Kibiki again, who's had a decent game. And it finds its way all the way through to Butland. Do we have time for one more highlight here? Can we get ourselves another goal in injury time? Butland knocks the long ball forward. Ings will challenge. It's headed back towards Kibiki. To Phillips. To Union O'Kane, ex-Bournemouth player. He's come off the bench. Saiz on the left. Ekuban. O'Kane. Ekuban again. Finds Kibiki, who's causing us all sorts of problems. It's Butland with a good save, and Gibson hacks the ball away. 4 minutes to be added on. Is there anything else we can do in this period? De Bock throws it into Ekuban. Finds Alioski. Grealish now. The counter could be on if we find Ings on the left-hand side. He's got Sessegnon on the overlap if he can hold and find it. Instead, he finds a switch. Lewis Cook. Backstick ball, and it's headed away comfortably by Kelly. Long ball forward now to Kibiki. He finds Ekuban with a first-time pass. Back to Kibiki again. He's had a strike, and Mings hacks it away. Jack Butland did very well to come out and parry that one. End-to-end football there. I really thought that was going to be a highlight for us. De Bock now. Ekuban. Ball in towards Alioski. Ings now. We have got numbers getting forward on the counter on the right-hand side here. Barnes is coming forward. He's into the box. He's got a man. Oh, he strikes instead. And I dare say this is going to be it. It's a throw in here to Kelly. Kelly to Alioski. Alioski to O'Kane to Ekuban again. We've watched pretty much the last 10 minutes straight of this game, it feels like. And there we go. The referee finally calls full time. A 4-1 win. 15 shots, 6 on target. They had 14 and 8. We led the foul count. We led the yellow cards. We did not lead possession, but I guess that's to be expected away from home. Calmly. Very pleased with the result and your performance. No need to complicate things any further than that. But a really decent episode for us. We win in the FA Cup 5th round. What we might do is jump ahead and see who we're going to be playing in the next round of the FA Cup, which I think is the start of the quarterfinals. Jordan Ives torn his hamstring, which is absolutely fucking horrific. Assertively, don't worry about your injury. I know it's frustrated. He appreciates the support. What was the response for Callum Wilson? Fractured lower arm, 6 weeks to 9 weeks. So we're going to send him to a specialist for 6 to 7 at the expense. It sucks that he's out, but that's fine. I guess it gives Danny Ings an opportunity in the team. And what we'll do now is we'll jump ahead and find out who we're going to play in the FA Cup the next round. Okay, so the 6th round draw is going to happen today. Let's actually watch it because we haven't done one. So team's still in the hat. Bournemouth, Fleetwood or Arsenal. Looks like there's a replay for that particular game. Man City, Southampton, Charlton, Leicester, Man United and Tottenham. Let's go with the automatic draw here. Can we get Charlton? Because that I think is the best team to get. Southampton will play Manchester City, so we've avoided them. Charlton are going to play Bournemouth. Fantastic. We are away to the League One side, but gives us a really good opportunity getting into the Final Four. So the draws favoured us a little bit. Be interesting to see how Fleetwood go on their replay against Arsenal as well, because if they get through, they'll be playing Manchester United at their home ground. But that's it. Let's have a look at what that does for our scheduling and how that makes March look for us. So we do have a pretty tasty run of games playing our rivals Southampton, Arsenal, Charlton and Chelsea. What I think I might do is the game against Arsenal and then the game against Charlton as our March fixtures. So we'll do a little bit off screen. We'll come back in the next episode. We'll play Arsenal. We'll play Charlton, see if we can get into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Is that right? Semi-finals? Yes, semi-finals. Back down to the Final Four. And at the moment, the FA Cup is really our only chance of silverware this season. We're definitely not catching Manchester United. Not doing horribly in the league, but, you know, there's still a few big marquee fixtures for us to try and secure European football. But a great episode, 2 great results, incredibly important for us. Unfortunate for Pochettino that he's now been sacked, but I have absolutely no doubt we'll see him coaching again in this save, probably at an even bigger side. As always though, I've been Sean. This has been In The Mixer. I hope you're enjoying whatever's playing on the Cherry soundtrack this particular week and that it is a banger. If you want to be kept up to date on future videos, feel free to subscribe to the channel, or you can follow In The Mixer FM on Twitter. There will be a link in the description below. But more than anything, just thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you guys are enjoying the series, and I'll see you guys again in The Mixer.